Okay. Doesn't work with a helmet, apparently. Anyway, let's get to it. Okay guys, here's my review of Grand Turismo 7 with the PSVR2. Grand Turismo 7 is an absolutely stunning game. It actually started my journey into loving cars all the way back from Grand Turismo 2 up until now. In this video, I want to show you guys some of the new features that are included in the PSVR2 version of Gran Turismo 7, all the way from the VR walk around, as well as the in-cockpit view when racing. Before we jump into it, just wanted to say if you do enjoy the video, consider liking the video and subscribing if you can. It really helps out the channel, really trying to help my son get into F1, and this is the beginning. So one of the added features is the VR showroom, which I'll show you guys in a second. You get a few different locations to choose from. Here's the pit garage. As you can see, you can actually freely walk around the garage, walk around the vehicle, while you've got your pit crew working away in the background, doing their little stat things or whatever they do. And yeah, as you can see, this is the NSXR right in front of you. And yeah, in some cases it looks so real, you feel like you can reach out and touch it. One of the standout features for me is really the interiors of all the vehicles. They feel so real, especially in the car that you've seen in real life before. You look around and every detail is actually on point. Of course, the most fun thing to do in this game is to go out and race. So whether you're racing this NSXR or maybe hopping into a go-kart, and of course you can even jump into a Formula car and rip around the track. When racing against others, I think is where the PSVR2 shines. As you guys are racing wheel to wheel, you can actually judge the corners a bit better. I think you gain a bit more depth perception for sure. And when you're racing wheel to wheel, you can again see the cars as you're driving past them, see them in your side mirrors, and maybe better defend. Personally, I haven't actually gone ahead and tried the online races for competing at this stage, so I'm yet to see whether or not this makes me a better racer. But I can definitely tell you, when I've gone back to the 2D version playing on the screen, my depth perception goes out the window. So I think I want to balance this review out a little bit and mention that, look, it's not all positive. There are a couple of negatives with the PSVR2 right now. One of those being motion sickness. So if you're a person that suffers from motion sickness, I would recommend maybe going ahead and trying it out before you go ahead and buy it, because you might not be able to really enjoy it. And even myself, after I race for about half an hour or more, I do find myself maybe getting a little bit sick depending on the track as well. Another negative would be, although it looks really good on the gameplay footage when we play it back, or actually record it on the PS5 and re-upload it, it doesn't appear as clear in the actual VR headset itself. So there are some limitations. It's not absolute 4K onto your eye or anything like that. So I would maybe just take it with a grain of salt, and again, maybe try it out before you buy it. But also just curb your expectations, because it won't look as good as it does on your screen. If I were to say one more negative, it would be, I guess, the limitations from here. So PSVR2 with Gran Turismo 7 is fantastic. But of course, just buying the PSVR2 just for Gran Turismo 7, in my opinion, is worth it, but maybe for you it's not. With the other games at the moment, I've tried out F1, it doesn't have VR support. Assetto Corsa currently doesn't have it, apparently the new Evo might. And also, if you try and drift racing X or something like that, I thought it'd be really cool to be able to use it for that, so you can drift around the track and maybe get a better feel for the drift itself. but it doesn't have that support right now, so there are limitations to the setup. On a positive note though guys, is if you already do have a PSVR2 and you want to try out Gran Turismo, they've just released a free version of Gran Turismo 7. It's called My First Gran Turismo, so you can actually get a real feel for the game. I believe it has VR support in there as well, so you can test it out, and again, maybe check out whether or not you do get that motion sickness before buying the game. The other thing is Gran Turismo 7 is on sale at the moment, last time I checked, so I paid full price for it and I still think it's worth it. I believe it's about 50% off right now. And last thing is, I think to get the full benefit of the whole experience, I do recommend getting a sim rig if you can. Even just this, I've got a Logitech G29. It's not the best unit out there, but for sure when combined with a VR2, it really sets the world alight. Especially with this game. The personal thing about it for me in this game is that you get to drive the cars that you normally drive on the road. And that was so true with the first Gran Turismo all the way up until the current one, where you get to drive pretty much everyday road cars, including this S2000. And just a quick story for me is that as soon as my baby boy came, he's now just over 1 month old, I sold my S2000. It was my dream car. It's something that I've always loved, and it was just one of those cars that really ignited again a passion for cars. And I was probably maybe 14 years old when I first set eyes on it and thought that's a car I want to own one day. So when I sold the car, I was a little bit sad, to be perfectly honest, and you know, this game allows me to jump back into the cockpit and drive. This is us here on the Great Ocean Road, one of the last cars I took the S2K out, and as you can see, it's a stunning view. Nothing beats real life, obviously, driving the thing in real life, but sometimes when I feel like I miss that car, I jump into the sim rig, chuck on my S2000 and just go for a drive and just enjoy the scenery.